This video is about dividing powers, negative and zero exponents. So let's look what happens when we divide exponents. If we had x to the fifth, so that would be 5 x's multiplied together, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then x third would be x times x times x. And then anything divided by itself is just 1. So 3 of these x's in the denominator cancel, and we're just left with x times x, which is x squared. So what you end up being able to do is just take the numerator's power minus the denominator's power. And that's how you do it. So here we would take x to the ninth divided by x squared. So we would take 9 minus 2, and that is x to the 7th. All right, and we can always write them out if you get kind of confused. So x to the ninth is x times x times x times x times x times x. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, all over x squared, which is x times x. And then anything divided by itself is just 1. So 2 of those x's in the denominator cancel with, I say cancel, but really it's divide to 1. So we're left with 7 x's multiplied together on the top, x to the 7th. Okay, and this next one we've got 15d to the 4th all over 3d, and we can take and divide our numbers and our powers, kind of group that in your head. So, that would be 15 over 3 times d to the 4th over d. So we would get 5, and then that's times d. We're going to take 4 minus 1. That d on the bottom is like a d to the 1. So we would end up with 5 times d cubed. And then on this one, we would get x to the 9th minus 9. X to the 9th over x to the 9th. You take that 9 from the numerator and subtract the power from the denominator. So this would be x to the 0, which looks a little weird. So we can always write that out and figure out what it means. X to the 9th is x times x times x times x times x times x times another x times x times x. All right, so what we've got here is the same number of x's in the numerator and the denominator. So all of these are going to divide to 1. And so this is just equal to 1. And that gives us one of our really important exponent rules. Any non-zero number to the 0 power is equal to 1. Okay, so take any base to the 0 power, and that is equal to 1, just as long as b does not equal 0. It doesn't work if b is a 0 to the 0 is kind of an interesting and strange idea, and that is undefined. All right, so let's look at this one. Anything to the 0 is just 1. Now just be careful here, because what's really being touched by that 0 exponent is only the 3. So first we take 3 to the 0, and that's 1, and then we make it negative. Okay, so just be careful, because really it's only whatever's touched by that negative. Here the whole, or touched by that exponent. Here the entire -3 is in the parentheses, so that entire thing is being affected by the 0 power. So that one is equal to 1. Okay, good. And now let's look at this next example. X to the 3rd divided by x to the 7th. So we're going to use our quotient rule. We're going to subtract 3 minus 7, so we would get x to the -4. We're not used to looking at that, so we can always kind of break it down. Okay, x to the 3rd would be x times x times x on the top, and x times x times x times, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All right, and then anything divided by itself is just 1. So this ends up being 1 over x to the 4th, and that is equivalent to x to the -4. And this is leading us into our next power rule. All right, so negative exponents. What that means is the reciprocal of the base to the positive power. Okay, so if we had in the one we did before, x to the negative 4, so that would be the reciprocal to the positive power. 1 to the 4th is still just 1. X to the 4th is on the bottom. Okay, so that's how we got that one. Here, if I have 5 to the negative 1, we take the reciprocal. Oopsie. Reciprocal is 1/5 to the positive 1. That just ends up being 1/5. Okay, so the reciprocal here would be of the base. You just flip that over, and then it's just to the positive 1 power. So that just is the reciprocal 5/3. Great. Okay, and now here, the only thing taken to that negative power is just the 5/6 over, or 5x over 6. So the 3/2 is just as it is, and then we take the reciprocal, so it'd be 6 over 5x, and then that's just the positive 1 power, so we don't actually have to write that. Okay, and then multiplying straight across, we get 18 over 10x, and then that can simplify. Both 18 and 10 are even, so we'll just get 9 over 5x, and that one's done. All right, on these ones, I'm going to let you try it. I've written down all the properties of exponents for you, and you can just pause the video and see how you do. Okay, so on this first one, we should have 1/4. Here, just be careful, because the only thing being affected by that negative is just the x. So this one should be 4 times 1 over x. A number times a fraction, give your 4 a denominator of 1, and then multiply straight across. That one's a little tricky. This one, we should get the reciprocal to the positive 1 power, so that one's 4/3. All right. So we take 3 times x squared, and then it would be the reciprocal of 5x, so 1 over 5x, and then give your 3x squared a denominator of 1, multiplying straight across. We get 3x squared over 5x, and then we can take those, the 1 from the bottom is going to cancel with the 1 on the top, so it would be 3x over 5. And we can always just sort of see what that actually looks like, right? We have one of those x's from the bottom is going to cancel with 1 from the top, so that we get 3x over 5. Here we should get 9, plus 1/3, so 9 and 1/3. And then this one we did already, that is 1. All right, excellent, there we go.